Well, happy Monday once again, everyone. Bryan Devore, Devore Realty Group, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, California Properties, and Happy New Year as well. I hope you had a wonderful, or hope you're having a good New Year so far. It is the first today. So today it's Happy New Year in review. So we are going to do a review of the year, and next week we are going to have some market predictions. But let's first talk about the latest stats. Right now, we have 2,418 homes for sale throughout San Diego County. It's a drop of 103 from last week, so inventory continues its decline. No change in the median list price, $975,000. Three more days on the market for the average days on market, up to 65. Pending sales down quite a bit, down 87 to 1718. Median list price of those homes, $799,949. It's a drop from the week before. Average days on market of the homes that are in escrow, 31 days. It's an increase of 2 days from last week. Months of inventory continues its decline, so we're down to 1.73 months of inventory. Remember, we were up over 2. We're getting down below 1.75, down to 1.73 right now. Here's a chart showing total actives and total pendings. You can see the trend line of total actives continuing its decline. Pendings went up last week, but down again this week. What happened last week? We had Christmas, of course, on Monday, so we expect to see some lower numbers. And we actually saw more homes come on the market last week than did the week before. So I guess people were leading up to Christmas, weren't putting their homes on the market, but once Christmas was done, they put their homes on the market. 211 homes did come on the market with a median list price of $849,999, lower than the week before. New pendings dropped quite a bit, however, down 167, down to 137. So a huge drop in the number of homes that went into escrow. Uh, home sellers were out there, but home buyers weren't. Median list price 789, lower than the week before. Average days on market 11 more days than the week before. So 40 days was the average days on market for the homes that went pending last week. New pendings listed within the last week, 7. New pendings listed within the last 2 weeks, 34. So only 5% of homes that were on the market for a week, or went pending rather, last week, were on the market for a week or less. And only 25% of homes that went pending were on the market for 2 weeks or less. That had been around 35, 40%. But more of the homes that went pending last week were on the market longer than 2 weeks. So some of the older inventory maybe had some price reductions, maybe those went into escrow. Total closings was down 44, again because of the holiday, so one less day that escrow companies and title companies can close escrows. 210 closings last week. Median list price 875, higher than the week before. Median sales price 860, also higher than the week before. Average days on market 26, 2 more days than the week before. The least expensive sale was in Alpine for $162,900. The most expensive sale was in Rancho Santa Fe, $4,465,000. And here's a chart showing new actives, new pendings, and new closed sales. And kind of an interesting stat where the number of new listings was about the same as the number of closed sales. And that's, I don't remember that ever happening. And more closed sales than more homes going into escrow. So some interesting things last week, but you can see all three numbers are quite low. Again, because the holidays, that does reflect the typical holiday season, but we saw prices were strong. And we can see that in this chart here, showing the median list price and median sales price over the last few weeks. Okay, year in review. Stephen Thomas did his reports on housing with the year in review. We'll start with the active listings. You can see from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, the blue line is where we are. You can see where we started. In the beginning of the year, the number of homes we had on the market, it was more than we had last year or the year before, but way below where we were at 2020 and 2019. So you can see the inventory started out super low and it kept going down. And then it did increase as rates were stubbornly high. And we bucked the trend where you typically see your peak earlier in the year, spring, summer, but our peak was in November as far as active listings that were on the market. And it's been coming down and it's following the trend line of all the other years, the way it's declining right now. We're going to start the year off with lower inventory than every year but 2021. That's kind of where we're at right now. Inventory is still stubbornly low. low. The year in review for demand, you can see where we started out, where demand was lower than it had been in any of the other years of the last few years, mostly because of interest rates were just too high. Demand did go up in the beginning of the year, as rates hadn't quite jumped a ton yet. So the demand followed the same trend line as the other years, but still stayed low. And it stayed pretty flat for most of the year and has steadily come down over late summer and into the holiday season. But we have seen the uptick a little bit. So you can see in this arrow right here how it's going up where all the other years kind of going down. I think as interest rates came down a little bit, and the expectation is that rates will come down again. Next week, of course, we'll do the predictions and we'll talk about rates and what we expect to see there. But that's what happened in the year in review for demand. And then looking at year over year market time, the expected market time, how long we expect homes to stay on the market for. Again, we're the blue line here. And we started out about the same as we were in 2020, lower than we were in 2019, but higher than we were in other years. We expected homes to stay on the market longer than those years, and that dropped quite a bit. And then it steadily went up throughout the year as rates were staying high, and demand was kind of going down. We expected market time to go up. But you can see now how market time has fallen off the cliff, whereas the other years it typically it stayed flat a little bit or come down a little bit. But you can see how the expected market time has dropped quite a bit, and we're seeing some of that. We're seeing some homes selling faster. Not all of them, but some are selling faster. Right now, I am seeing a busy holiday season. Just put a couple of homes on the market. We're getting a ton of activity. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the beginning of the year. And like I said, next week rather, we will do the predictions, what Stephen Thomas thinks, what I think as well. But that's it for this week's Monday Market Moment. In case you didn't notice, we have a new graphic for the date for the week that we're reporting on. So that's kind of neat for the new year. Don't forget to track your home's value by scanning that QR code. Call me, text me if you have any questions about the market or how it might affect you. And again, next week, we will do our market predictions. That's it for this week's Monday Market Moment. Hope you have a great New Year's Day and a great week. Look forward to seeing you next Monday.
Thanks for watching Monday Market Moment with Bryan Devore. To request a transcript of this week's report, send an email to brian@devorerealtygroup.com.